What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you on a Wednesday night. We'll not be on here too long, but I haven't really streamed. I guess I put out a couple videos, but it feels like it's been a while. And we're not going to hang out or anything. I'm not dropping the link. But as you see by the title, just beat Georgia, the Alabama Crimson Tide 2023 focus. Last time the two teams met, I tried to avoid it because it still eats at me a little as a fan. But you got a sportscaster here that wants to improve and just call it what it is. Last time they met, 33-18 in the national title, Georgia beat Alabama. Keely Ringo pick six. The rest is history. Alabama is clicking at the right time right now in this season to where when they go into Atlanta, they can compete with Georgia. I do think they can compete. Can they win? I'm not going to say yes. I'm also not going to say no. I have to see it. But I'm not going to rule it out. So, but I bring this up because I am so excited for next weekend. Like, I know the focus for Nick Saban right now is he wants to beat Chattanooga. Let's win the next game. Play the next play. Let's go out and compete this week in this moment, right? All Alabama has to do is win the next two games and then get to Atlanta and play Georgia, right? They're already going, but win the next two games. But here's the mission overall. Forget winning a national title this year. Gosh, if you do this, if you beat Georgia, holy cow, man. Holy cow. Like I said, this will be short and to the point. Iron Bowl week is next week. We got Chattanooga this week. Already got a score prediction. Already recorded Tidal Wave Talk. It'll be premiering Friday morning. I think Alabama, the standard of excellence of college football, still, it's amazing. Alabama doesn't have a quarterback. Alabama's dynasty is fading. It's over. It's done. And now they're starting to get good. They're in Atlanta. What happened to LSU in the offseason? LSU's going to win the West. Jaden Daniels for Heisman. Alabama whooped them. Took care of the rest of the SEC. They're undefeated in conference play. They only got the one loss to Texas, which was by 10. Now, I don't want to talk about Texas since then, but, I mean, come on. But I'll say this. Can Alabama beat Georgia? Absolutely. Georgia's beatable. It's a good possibility, though, that Georgia goes back to back in three-peats. I'm not going to rule that out. I just personally don't think it'll happen. But if there's anyone standing in Georgia's way right now, it's Alabama. Alabama is the cream of the crop and the standard of college football right now. Still. But if Georgia three-peats, like I've said all offseason, if it happens, it's over. You can forget it. But what are you going to say if Alabama wins the SEC? If they're 12-1 SEC champs, Georgia will get in the playoff. Unless it's a huge margin of victory and it's a blowout, but I don't think that. I do think Alabama can win the game. I'm not ready to say who I think is going to win the game yet. We'll talk about that after rivalry week. We will have a special edition of Tidal Wave Talk for the SEC title. Man. Cody, good comment But look, Florida State or Texas losing doesn't indicate a path for Alabama in any scenario, I don't think. Alabama wins the SEC, they're in, regardless of what happens to Texas or Florida State. That's regardless. Now, if you're Alabama, you don't want to overlook Chattanooga for Auburn, and then you don't want to get to Auburn and overlook them for Georgia, because that's where you lose, right? But you're 2 weeks away, 3 weeks really from now. But like you're like 2 wins. Get the regular season over with. Go to Atlanta, and then beat Georgia. That's it, and you're in the playoffs. I know they probably shouldn't make it this year, and no one's writing them off completely, and all this and that. But imagine this Alabama team getting good at the right time, sneaking in the playoffs, and winning the whole freaking thing. Wouldn't that be something? Again, I'm not dropping the link. If you want to comment your thoughts on this, feel free to. By all means. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want your opinions or anything. I'm wide open to it. But just kind of some thinking here. Alabama just has to win a football game. That's it. It's not. It's a big task playing Georgia, and it's a big job right now because they are a good team. I will admit. Carson Beck looks great. Brock Bowers gets healthy, goes out there and plays. He's great. Lad McConkey, he's great. O-line, great. But Alabama, man, come on. Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, Caleb Downs, Kool-Aid McKinstry on defense. Come on now. Can't deny that. Jalen Milroe, at this point in the season, nobody could have predicted this. Nobody. Listen, the offseason and even at the start of the season, what if Alabama doesn't have a starting quarterback this year? What if they just play pick 'em each week with their quarterbacks? Because they got Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson. Listen, you didn't see none of this coming with Jalen Milroe. You just didn't. But he lanked. LANK, let all naysayers know. That's a new term going around in Tuscaloosa, I believe. He lanked. He is silencing his critics. It would surprise me to see him in New York, but he may come back next year. What if he's there next year? He was good coming out of high school. He looked rusty in the spring, and that's why they doubted him. But he's getting good at the right time. Isaiah Bond is stepping up. Jermaine Burton. Offensive line coming together. I'm excited for what this team could do. I believe in this team. I'm changing my attitude. I'm changing my mindset of this team from what I had before. I'm not necessarily saying that they will. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me at this point if they found a way to sneak in the playoffs and ruin everybody's party. If they won the whole thing, don't sit there with your jaws to the floor. Oh, Alabama actually won a championship this year. I mean, you can sit there and be like, man, in the offseason, we didn't predict this. We were, in fact, the exact opposite. Okay. I get that. But at this point in the season, would it really surprise you? So what's the focus of this team? The next game. They're focused on Chattanooga this week, yeah. But if they want to be a champion, and they do, they got to get through Georgia. I think they have the tools for that. I just wanted to come on here live and haven't streamed in a while. Haven't talked to you guys in a while. We're not dropping the link. I don't want to get carried away tonight. I do have to get rest for school. But it's always good to see you guys in the comments. Who do we have in here? Cody Hankins, Daniel Berry, Third and Nate. What's up, Nate the Great? And of course, Cody. I answered that one already. I think Alabama will be okay. I think they're clicking at the right time. They're coming together at the right time. And what is so interesting is just how there wasn't really much chemistry with Jalen Milroe in this offense to begin the season. You go back to that Texas game, and even though they hung up 50 points, it was Middle Tennessee State, right? Like, we're not going to base Milroe off that, are we? What he's done since then, man, you wouldn't believe. 9-1, count it 10-1. Let's say they win the Iron Bowl, 11-1 when they play Georgia, who, unless they lose to Tennessee, which I picked in the offseason, but I'm not picking now. Unless they lose to Tennessee, Georgia's going to be 12-0 in that SEC title game. Who's the favorite? Georgia. Don't blame them. Come on now. It's hard to go back-to-back. Georgia did it. It's hard to go 15-0. Georgia did it. Undefeated regular seasons back-to-back. Georgia probably going to do it. Back-to-back SEC champions. But you're playing Alabama. Remember, when's the last time Alabama lost to a team twice in a row? What's up, homegrown cowboy? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Love you, buddy. Last time Alabama lost to the same team twice, Hugh Freeze with Ole Miss, 2014, 2015. That's the last time. Now, history repeats itself. It happens. I mean, if Alabama loses to Georgia, they lose to Georgia. 2-game win streak in that series for the Dogs. That's fine. But the point being is this. Don't be surprised if Georgia slips up against the Tide. Don't be surprised. Just don't. It'd be all right. It'd be okay. Get through it. Dog fans, where you at, man? I love you guys. Y'all are great. I don't really hate Georgia. I don't even hate Kirby Smart. I get annoyed. And I might say stuff on Twitter or whatever, like, go put them in their place. It happens. Y'all got to understand. Georgia might be hungry or starving or ready and built up, however Kirby Smart puts it. You don't think Nick Saban's got some fire in him too? Probably even more. Remember, he built Kirby Smart. Kirby might have played at Georgia, but he learned his coaching from, I think it was at like Valdosta State, and then mostly under Coach Saban. Think, man. Think. Alabama will be fine. I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. Just wanted to talk it up. I'm good. I'm still here. We just haven't been live in a while. We got some big rivalry stuff coming next week. there's some good games this weekend, but I didn't really plan ahead as far as like timing and everything, so I'm probably not going to preview every single game. Georgia, Tennessee. I think Georgia will win, but I think Tennessee could still score some points. Give me a final score on that one. 38 Dogs. And then the Vols 14. I don't know. Thanks, homegrown cowboy. You do the same, buddy. You do the same. I'm excited to play Georgia. I am. I hope we talk it up that week with Chess Hall on a professional sports show. Something like that, man. Got to do something, right? Got to do something. We'll talk it up. I'll get in touch with him, and we'll see what we can do. But bottom line is this: just please, by all means, do not be surprised if Alabama wins the SEC this year. Just take it for what it's worth. It will be an upset. I'll admit that, but I don't think it should come as a shock. Nobody's unbeatable. I think Kirby Smart even knows that. He's trying to get it through the guys' heads. It'll just come down to who's hungry for more. That's all I got. I love you guys. Y'all have a good night. God bless you. And we got more amazing college football content coming very soon here to Ballard Sports Media. And by the way, the radio station stuff still just getting started. I'm excited. We got great things happening. I love you guys. Good night.